Hello and welcome back to ChäoS Head Noah. My name is Maybe Dennis, and last time we did our little sister Nanami's ending, where Ben essentially made some choices in the first chapter and led to chapter 6, where we actually did not seemingly get Nanami's right hand. And then after trying to leave the base, we saw that Nanami was actually just outside of the base for some reason naked. And we spent basically most of the ending just getting to know this Nanami a little bit more and being a little bit more paranoid. Well, we found out at the end that this Nanami that Takami's been interacting with was all just a delusion, and he missed the week of his life because he tried to real boot her. And once they confronted each other, the real Nanami and the fake Nanami, he ends up just giving up on, finding out the truth and just decides to real boot his illusion, essentially. And he had a happily ever after with his own sister. Well, the fake one, the delusion one. But yeah, that ending was really weird to me. Made me feel kind of like But yeah, we're gonna do another ending today. I'm currently in chapter 2. This is the first decision we have to make. And in chapter 2, we have to make our decisions in order to get our next girl, which is Ayase, at least our next ending. But yeah, so let's head into it. The first choice I have to make is a negative delusion for this. I don't know if I've done this already, but we'll see. Yeah, so I believe this is when Takashina actually tells Takumi, yeah, you're delusional. But yeah, we're gonna go on and I'll talk to you in the next choice, which is right here. Alright. So this is Seroton. We're also supposed to have a negative delusion once more. So let's go. And we've already done that before, so next time. And for the survey, I just clicked OK. We are now at Fez's concert hall, where we make our last big choice, I'd say. And once again, we make our negative delusion choice. I don't remember if I've done this before. The next thing I knew, I was walking slowly on top of a roof somewhere. The wind was strong and the rain was crashing sideways into my body. But for some strange reason, I didn't feel cold. I recognize this place. I've been here several times. That's right, this was our school's roof. I looked around. There wasn't too much to see up here, and the rain made it hard to see anything at all. But the whole place didn't feel real, like the world itself was blurry here. Ah, okay, yeah. We got something different, something Ayase exclusive. I was looking beyond the fence surrounding the roof. Fez was there. She was soaking wet and facing me from the other side. She had the same look in her eyes that she'd had during the concert. She was looking right at me. The sword-like mic stand was still in her right hand. The wind blew up from below, rustling her wet hair. If she lost her balance even a little, she'd be sure to fall. And if she fell from this height, she'd die instantly. Just looking at her made me feel weak in the knees. But Fez was standing up straight, seemingly not scared at all. Is this gonna be like okay, so first of all, she's got a different outfit, which honestly it looks kind of nice. Second, is this supposed to show, like, why she ended up taking the jump when she was at school that one time? Because, she thought it was the right thing to do. She thought she was fulfilling the prophecy of Gladiale or something. But, maybe you'll get more insight into that. Because we are on a school roof now. She looked at me with sadness in her eyes. Her left hand, the one that wasn't holding the mic stand, reached out towards me. Jump with me, she seemed to be saying. I couldn't say a word. I didn't know what to do. Fez said nothing. Then she spread out her arms as if she'd been nailed to the cross. Oh, and the wind and rain suddenly stopped. I tried to shout, but nothing came out. I couldn't say a word. Fez slowly fell backwards. Everything was happening in slow motion. I tried to somehow reach out a hand towards her. But my movements were in slow motion too. All I could do was watch helplessly as my arms slowly stretched out. Fez's eyes were already closed, and then she vanished from my sight. We didn't have a delusion to save her there. Oh, we're back in our room? I knew I was the one who created it, but man, what a depressing ending. I guess it was just a sign of how incredible the aura around Fez was. She had this kind of destructive beauty. Not that I had any idea what destructive beauty actually was. Lol, sorry. In the end, I got sick from the crowd and fled the concert hall. So I barely see any of it, and I never want to go again. Now then, time to play some ESO and forget that depressing delusion. Okay. So now we're back on track, I think? Yeah. Oh, we got another choice? I'm kind of confused because according to the guide, I was supposed to get a yes-no option, but I'm not sure. Let's just keep going. Alright, I see. I believe I've done something wrong, so I'm gonna have to reload the save. You know, I'm just gonna start over. I'm not sure. Maybe my save file didn't work. Oh, I just realized what I did wrong. So, I basically loaded up the choices I had, or the chapter saves I had, that was branching off of Rimi's ending. And maybe because I made the choices here, I was locked into Rimi's ending. Maybe that's the reason. I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay, so we're back at this decision. Once again, I'm gonna do that, and it should take us back to like the school roof. Well, I'm assuming at the school roof, I'm supposed to get like a yes/no option this time. Yes, Fez wants me to save her. The answer is yes. I want to give in to her temptations. No, don't jump off the roof. It would feel so good to jump. I mean, I'm supposed to say yes, but I don't know. I'd be willing to die if I could do it with Fez. Yes? What are these choices? And the last one, I want to be released from everything. Sounds like he's getting ready to commit a lover's suicide. And then that's the same. Alright. Well, I have to fast forward to chapter 6 essentially. And keep going until we get to the portion where I have to make the yes/no choices for the D sword. And then if this guide is right, then I'll have to well, we're gonna do the Fez ending after chapter 6, like how chapter 7 for Nanami was her ending. Okay, we are in the chapter 6 section where we're supposed to, you know, find our D sword. So, here are some of the choices. It's actually, upon a quick glance, it seems like the choice for this is present in pretty much all of the other endings, and the choices are the exact same every time. And those choices are, I saw a sword. Yes! I saw a sword, clearly. If I can move from here, I could get it. Nah. I could see a sword someplace that wasn't here too. No. It's not actually a sword. Yes. And then now we should fast forward until IS's ending, pretty much. Oh, what is it? Psychopath. Did I do something wrong? Man, I really hope I'm doing this right. I'm just continuing. But if my guess is correct, the next time we actually see Ayase, because she ended up jumping, was like the hospital. So I'm gonna keep going until we get to the hospital, and if nothing changes after that, I'm gonna look up something. I'm not sure. Huh, we have some few new lines according to the game. According to my schedule, today wasn't a school day, but I come here for one reason anyways, to see Rimi. It hurt, but I was willing to put it up if it meant possibly seeing Rimi. I mean, I remember that, so that doesn't... I don't know why it's not skipping. There's a chance that Shogun would come back. He seems to be coming after me, as some sort of game, which meant the next quest might start whenever he felt like it. That scared me. The only reason I wanted D-Sword in the first place was because I was so scared of him. How was I supposed to protect myself from him without the sword? Have Rimi stay with me? Or Rimi... Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. It's very, very similar. Oh man, enter the classroom. I swear this is the same thing, but the game is just not skipping it. Oh wait, was this like this before? Huh. So this is like, I think the second day after the O-Front incident, and like, I think Misumi was avoiding Takumi, but here he actually ended up talking to Takumi first. Previously, if I recall, Rimi talked to Takumi first, and then Misumi was like, okay, it's okay to talk to him, but now he's he's taking the initiative? Maybe to go to Ayase's room in the hospital? Because I think that's what happens after this. It was Misumi, with an awkward expression on his face. He hadn't slapped me nearly as hard as he used to. Just yesterday, he'd been ignoring me. Why was he talking to me again? If he did, it'd ruin his life. The TQNs in the class would bully him. Yeah, Misumi would be better off if he didn't talk to me at all. When I didn't respond, Misumi forced a smile on his face. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the big difference. They didn't need to repeat all the other stuff, but this is where it kind of diverges, I think, because Rimi's not here. He was being as rude as ever, but it didn't feel like he was being mean. That was just how he always talked.
あれだ。この前は悪かったな。自分の立ち位置ってのもつかみかねててな。でもまあ、いろいろ考えて、やっぱ今まで通りで行くことにしたからよ。
Yeah, that's my friend, hopefully.
よろしくな。
He said this so casually. He's going to treat me just like he had before, even though I was a creepy loser, without wanting anything in return. Well, that's how he was treating you before. Oh, damn. I was feeling wet. If Misumi wanted to do me, I'd let him. It's the yaoi route.
正直なところを言うと、お前に優しくしてやることで、俺は女にモテるわけだ。
You know what, to be fair, in that, what was it called again? This tips list, I think it was diagnosis or exam results. If you have Misumi here, yeah. If you see someone lost in their own delusions with a dorky grin on their face, make sure you don't call them a creep. Be nice to them, and all the girls will think you're a nice guy. He's a man of his word.
あんなダメ人間にもわけ隔てなく接するなんて、とってもかっこいい人だわ。キャ。
キャ。Daisuke Misumi, die in a fire. I was willing to offer you my virginity too. If you hadn't told me, I would have never realized what you were really after. But well, the way he came out and said it was just who he was, open and friendly about everything. That was enough for me to get over it. I suddenly let out a chuckle. In the hospital?
怪我は大したことなかったんだけど、精神的にかなり参ってるらしい。いいか、タク。女を落とすのに一番手っ取り早いのは、弱ってる時に優しくしてやることだ。
That's how you almost got talk me too, when it was most vulnerable.
というわけで俺、本気で岸本の見舞いに行こうかなと思ってんだよね。そういえばタクって岸本と知り合いだったよな。な、一緒に行ってくんね。
It sounded like something that Misumi would say, and it was something I'd never even thought about either. Ayase, huh? With Rimi gone, she might be the only person left I could rely on. So that's how this is gonna progress. Evo, Nozumi, Genichi, Narose dude. Hi. Whoa! That is a different title. This is gonna be the new ending. Okay. Wow, okay, I just read the title. This chapter is called A Bloody Contract for Your Sins. Or for your sin. I forgot if there was an S at the end, but that is definitely something that Ayase would probably say. Alright, we're on pace. Finally. The 7th murder. Another one. Another new gen murder. How long was this gonna keep happening? Will the next one be the one where they finally got me? Or the one after that? Anyway, had Grim gotten a job at New Gen Advertising Division or something? He was constantly telling me about them whenever one happened. Suspicious, isn't it? He seems to know everything right when it drops. Once again, he posted a bunch of links to news sites too. This must have been his way of telling me to look at them. I clicked the link and bit down hard on my lip. This is gonna be like the DQN ones? Yep. DQN puzzle. I mean, a lot of this is kind of similar, so I'm just gonna kind of go through it. Let's say DQN's, yeah, this is pretty much the same. They don't let me skip it because it's a new chapter. I think I'm gonna skip through this because a lot of it is pretty much the same. And I'm not really getting anything new from this. Rimi, oh, okay, this is a little bit different. But he's like, Rimi, help me. Where'd she gone? Wasn't she supposed to protect me? I love how in the other ending, I was like, Rimi's kind of like really prominent in a lot of these. What if she just, like, I'm pretty sure she's probably going to be really prominent in the other endings too, but in this one, she's literally just missing. So Takumi has to find another crutch to stand on, I guess. And in that case, it's going to be Ayase. So I guess that's like the major difference in this little area. Now we're in the hospital room with Ayase. If I recall, Suo was here before. Ayase Kishimoto was staring out the window, only half paying attention to anything going on around her. There are no bars at the window, like there are in the rooms at the Arc Heart Medical, the place where she had been before. Outside, she could see high-rise buildings of Shinjuku, and beyond them, a blazing evening sky. A few pigeons were flapping fiercely across it. Occasionally, she would wince in pain. Her eyes were empty, and just a little tired. She wasn't humming the songs that had so entranced the young people of Shibuya. After her failed suicide attempt, she'd been brought to a big general hospital in Yoyogi. Her wounds had almost completely healed. The doctors had said it was a miracle that a fall from that height had only ended in a few minor scrapes and bruises. Still, she'd hit her head hard, so she'd been hospitalized for observation. She'd been here for over a week already. Of course, observation meant nothing more than a simple checkup once every 2 days. The rest of the time, she was left to herself. She had the room to herself. There were no other beds in it. Her D-sword was up against the window. I'm pretty sure this is like the same thing, too. Yeah, I was reading it, but like, it's like the same exact thing. That's gonna be Suwa, isn't it? Oh, it's Hatsuki. The door opened and a nurse in white came in. I don't remember this, actually. Ase slowly turned towards her and then took the thermometer from... Nope, no, I do remember this. Like, she just remembered it was there. Okay. Oh, we're getting memories of Arc Heart Medical again. Oh, man, this image is terrifying no matter how many times I see it. Yeah. But, yeah, this is going to be like pretty much the same thing. I'm going to keep going until I find something that I remember as different. Well, I still don't understand. Why did remembering that make you go into this pose where you're like, oh, kimochi? Okay, so we're done with the Suwa part. I'm fairly certain it was exactly the same. Oh, here is a little bit different. With Rimi gone, I needed somebody to help me. Ayase was the first girl that came to mind. I mean, why did it have to be a girl? If her injuries were healed, and if I asked for her help, she might be able to do something. Oh, so I don't know what caused Rimi's absence in this route, but due to her absence, like I said before, he has to find someone else to rely on, and as a result, he's pinning it all. He's gonna rely on Rimi. I mean, sorry, he's gonna rely on Ayase because he knows that she has a D-sword, and she's probably the only one that he thinks would be willing to help out. So he's probably, in this case, going to do whatever she says and kind of, I guess, maybe buy her delusions, so the stuff about Gladiale. And with her help, my odds of getting a real D-sword would get way higher. I was powerless on my own, and she told me before that you couldn't teach somebody to get a sword. But still, Ayase might be able to help me out somehow. Misumi had gone into the front door, but when he got to the lobby, he didn't seem sure what to do. I asked him what was wrong.
Yeah. Kishimoto no byoushitsu tte doko nan darou na tte omotte yo.
How'd he come all the way this? Okay, this part's gonna be the same.
Na, この前話したよな。
Oh.
女を落とすのに一番簡単な方法。
Of course I remember. It's when they're most vulnerable. As we walked down the hall, Misumi was grinning at me. That wasn't really an appropriate topic to discuss at a hospital, I thought. I think you said that you want to win a girl's heart. The best time is to do it when she's in a vulnerable spot.
俺は今日こそあの難攻不落の岸本を落としてみせるぜ。
Let me just get this L for you prepared. Oh, okay. He flashed his teeth at me and gave me a thumbs up. He was handsome and cheerful, but the words he was saying were awful. It must be nice to be so hot that girls would forgive you for even when you're a shithead.
でだ。お前って岸本と仲いいだろ?
Define close. We will get closer this ending.
別に。しらばっくれるなよ。というわけで、フォロー頼むぜ。岸本にいかに三角大輔って人間が素晴らしいかを語ってくれ。
He's only talking to me to use me. Help me, Ayase.
無理だよ。無理とか言うなって。マジ頼むからさ。
Come on, just help a bro out, please. Knock it off. This is a hospital, not some sleazy bar. Was it okay to see Ayase like this? She didn't seem like Misumi that much. My stomach started to hurt.
お、タク。病室はここじゃねえか？
Misumi stopped and pointed to the plate on the side of the door. It read Ayase Kishimoto. The door is shut and there was no way to tell what was going on inside.
いいか？
Ready?
うまく俺に話を合わせろよ。
Set.
うん。
Go! I decided to just nod. I needed to talk to her, too, and without Misumi there to help me, I didn't feel like I'd be able to do that.
おーす、岸本さん。
Let's go! Misumi greeted her cheerfully as he opened the door.
お見舞いに来た。
Wait, what? Did something happen this time? Suddenly his tone dropped. His expression froze. I looked over his shoulder into the room to see what was wrong. Oh, this is different. So yeah, it was gonna be the moment where they meet that'll be different. So don't know what's gonna be up with Ayase that'll make him do that, but Rimi's not here, so we're not gonna get the famous slap scene this time. Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got 3 D swords in the back. That's... Okay, so one of them is Kozue's, because that's a giant-ass D sword, if I recall. Actually, what is that? Is a giant-ass D sword Kozue's? I forgot. The cross one is Nanami's, and the one on the right is hers. Huh. I thought Kozue's looked different. That kind of looks like a big version of Rimi's. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Okay, looking this up. The right one is Ayase's. The left one, I'm pretty sure, was Nanami's. And the middle one is Rimi's. It's just because it's, I didn't realize hers was so big. Holy crap. It's ginormous. And the reason I thought it was Kozue's, now I remember Kozue's design. I thought it was Kozue's just because it was massive. I didn't realize that Rimi's was that big when you, like, take the full account of it. But yeah, okay. The room was small and simple in layout. There was a bathroom right on the right side from the entrance and a bed near the back. And on the bed... Wait. What the fuck? Ayase was sitting there, covered in blood. Her dead eyes were staring at us. What did you kill them and take their D-swords? What did you do? I want to run away too, but my legs weren't moving. I was shaking with fear. But I was also struck by how bewitchingly beautiful Ayase looked as she was covered in blood, and stunned by what I saw lying up against the wall behind her. I couldn't move. Casually placed up against the wall was a D-sword. Not just one, 3, including a different one that she had with her before. All of them looked different. One had a strange streamlined form that barely looked like a sword at all. One had a form that looked like a crucifix. It was painful to even look at. And one had a mysterious, almost mystical weapon I'd seen her holding before. Why did Ayase have 3 D-swords? Damn, she's collecting them. Wait, since when was there a rule that you can have only 1 D-sword? It was possible that Senna and Kozubi had several different looking weapons too.
Takumi.
I shuddered when she called my name. She walked towards me.
来てくれたのね。
どうしてそんなに血が
Yeah, I kind of want to know the answer to that. The red blood on her pajamas still wasn't dry. The raw scent stung my nose. Oh, so that means it was Is that why we haven't been seeing Rimi? Did she kill Rimi and grab her D-sword off her body? And oh wait. Is Nanami? Yeah, Nanami's missing at this point. Did she somehow get Nanami's D-sword too? Which is why it's there? Oh, crap. So right now, yeah, she has Nanami's and Rimi's.
黒騎士の血よ、これは。
黒騎士って綾瀬本人の
いいえ。
ちょっと誰綾瀬はその人を殺したの
I mean, if she were following her story, she would want their help, not kill them, right? Ayase's eyes narrowed and she laughed.
怯えているのね、匠。
Oh, yeah? Her bloodied fingers stroked my cheek.
でも、君を怯えさせているのは、 君自身の心の内にあるものよ。不浄なる邪心に打ち勝って、純粋な邪心のみを心に留めるのよ。
She's kinda crazy.
そうすれば、ディソードは手に入る。手に入れてもらわなくちゃいけない。
So I can steal it for myself.
君は黒騎士なのよ。君には力があるわ。
ディソードを手に入れたら僕も殺すの？黒騎士を殺してきたんだろう？
惑わされないで。それが不浄なる邪心よ。
Oh, he has a very impure heart. Ayase was staring into my eyes with a hand on my cheek. Her eyes looked empty, but it also felt like there was a deep light within them. I couldn't look away from her.
黒騎士は本来なら邪心を制御できるわ。けれど邪心王は巧妙だった。
The king of wicked hearts.
グラジオール記黙示録詩編第6巻2章50節。グラジオールは邪心を少しずつ侵食することで静かに支配を完了し、邪心の暴走を引き起こすのよ。負けてはいけないわ。
Don't lose this
邪
fight.
心王の精神侵略に。
Stay determined. I'd never spent so long gazing into the eyes of a 3D girl. The sadness, loneliness, and strength in her eyes compelled me to keep staring. I hadn't really heard a single thing she said.
守って。
I whispered without even realizing I'd done so.
僕を守ってくれ。
いいわ。
Very well. She nodded, far more easily than I expected. She brought her face closer. The smell of blood got stronger.
これは予定されていたこと。
She whispered into my ears. My heart was racing.
君を守るわ。君も私を守って。
Standing there in blood, she was ravishing, tempting, seductive. It was hard to believe she was my classmate.
他の黒騎士は
I mean, she technically isn't, right?
当てにはできない。
She's in another
最
class.
初は予言通りに黒騎士を集めようと思ったけれど、私の力では無理だった。でも匠がいてくれるなら。
It had been the same way at the concert. Sometimes Ayase could look incredibly sexual. Covered in blood. Okay, yeah, sure.
呼吸とその門は、その時邪神王はこの世に降臨する。
The king of wicked hearts will descend upon this earth.
だから急いで集めるのよ。7本のディソードを。私と君2人で。
There are 3 swords lying up against the wall, which meant that there were 4 left.
うち1本は匠、君が見つけるべきディソードよ。
僕は手に入れられなかった。
I'd come close at O-Front building, but in the end, I'd abandoned Nanmi and run away. I'd given up on getting it.
落ち込むことはないわ。機会はいくらでもやってくる。すでに匠は見えているんだから。それこそが君が黒騎士である証拠よ。
いつか手に入るのかな。
不浄なる邪心に打ち勝てば必ず。
Defeat your wicked heart. Then, what was a wicked heart? Did she mean how my mind was constantly thinking of naughty delusions? That'd be very difficult. I didn't think I could beat it at all. Ayase left me and headed to the bed. She began to casually undo her top.
着替えるわ。
Out the room we go. I looked away quickly. I thought about just leaving the room outright, but
そこにいて。
now I couldn't go anywhere. The sound of Ayase disrobing echoed through the silent hospital room. This room wasn't that big. It was bigger than the base, of course. But still, now it was just me and Ayase in this cramped space, and Ayase was behind me, changing. I could sense her taking her clothes off, even if I couldn't see it. Crap, I was getting really nervous. There was no reason to be nervous though. I'd already experienced this exact situation in Higashi Matasema's H game. A slime girl appears. God damn it. Why should I be nervous now?
なぜ目をそらすの、匠。
Oh.
だって、兄ちゃんまずいし。
My voice was on the verge of cracking.
恥ずかしいのね。
綾瀬は恥ずかしくないの。
Did she mean that it was okay to stare? I'm not into 3D girls, okay? I mean, I really do, though. I mean, if she's saying I can look, I guess I will.
惑わされているのよ、君は。その感情こそが邪心に侵食されている証拠。
惑わされているって、誰に？
邪心王、グラジオール。
I looked over at the paperback on the side table in front of me and picked it up. The title read, The Apocalyptic Psalm of Gladiale, Book 17.
グラジオールって、なんなの？
邪悪なる存在。負の妄想の塊。人の心の闇に偏在する無意識の集合体。
So it's supposed to be a mass of negative delusions and just a collective unconscious omnipresent in the darkness of the human heart. So it's just, yeah, like it said, it's a collection of all the negative energy.
世界に破滅をもたらす神。言い方はいろいろ。
そいつは車椅子に乗ってるの？足が不自由とか？
グラジオールは人の形をしているとは限らないわ。もういいわよ、こっちを見ても。
And she's all clean. I very slowly turned around. She'd already changed. For some reason, she was dressed in her school uniform.
なんで制服に？
We're going to school.
迫っているから。グラジオール覚醒の時が。
And we only have so many different art pictures that we have with her in the other uniform. We gotta change back.
いつでも動けるようにしておかないと。
Did she need to wear her uniform for that? No, that didn't matter right now.
グラジオールがギガロマニアックスとどう関係してくるの？
ギガロ？何？
No, the heck is that? Asi's eyes narrowed, just a little. Did she not know what they were? Maybe Senna was the only one who used that phrase.
ギガロマニアックスだよ。セナはディソードを持つ力の持ち主のこと、そう呼んでた。
Ah, another warrior. Let us confront her.
ディソードはディラックの海に繋がったパイプだとかなんとか。
呼び方は人それぞれかもしれないわ。ディソードは人の邪心を具現化したものよ。グラジオール記目視録詩編にそう書いてある。第3巻11章23節。予言書なのよ、それは。
Ayasa's gaze was locked onto the paperback in my hands.
みんなはこう言うわ。私が歌詞によって予知を行っていると。
I kind of forgot. I think she made this one expression near the end of the first route, but we rarely get to see her not emotionless.
だけど私はグラジオール記目視録詩編からインスピレーションを受けているだけ。その詩編こそ予言の書なのよ。なぜ気づかないの？誰も。
予言の書って冗談でしょ。
事実よ。
I mean, I know that she's extremely bought into this Gladiale fantasy, but she does have a point in the fact that she made her songs based off the lyrics, or she made her lyrics based off the book, and things have come true so far. So from her perspective, there's no reason to not think that this book is special or even a prophecy in a way.
この渋谷で今、まさに起きていることを、そしてこれから起きようとしていることを、ツイグラーは予言し、物語にしている。
ツイグラー？
グラジオール記目視録詩編の作者。 個人だけれど、ツイグラーは強大な黒騎士だったと思うわ。私は。
What Ayase called Black Knights the same as Gigalomaniacs? If that was the case, then it would make more sense if the author could use his Gigalomaniac powers to write a book of prophecies. Yeah, so like there is some kind of potential validity to her beliefs from the evidence she has provided, but I mean, I'll keep going. I flipped through the book I was holding, The Apocalyptic Psalm of Gladiale, book 17, and I gasped. Oh, wow. I did not expect that. Oh my god, I already know what she's gonna say. Only the chosen ones could see the words, or something like that, but she's been reading nothing. It was blank. I flipped through every page, and not a single one had a single word in it. What the hell was this? I looked at the cover. There was no illustration on the cover. It was just the title and the name of the author. I couldn't see the name of the publisher on it anywhere. I went back to the very first page, but it was blank, just like the rest. I went all the way through and not a single page had anything on it.
これ、不良品
I'd like a return, please. This is not working.
どういうこと？
だって、
I mean...
これ全部白紙じゃないか。
何を言っているの？ちゃんと書かれているわ。何度も読んでいるのよ、私は。
そんなこと言ったって。ほら。
I opened the page and shoved it right in front of her face.
どこからどう見ても真っ白だよ。
She was like, what are you talking about? There are words in that page.
ちっとも白紙なんかじゃないわ。
いや、白紙だって。
ここに字が書いてある。見えないの？匠。
Was she just screwing with me? Was she serious? Or was she just an absolutely crazy girl?
君には見えないのね。侵食されているからだわ。邪神王に。
I have a feeling I know how this is gonna end. I wonder if it's gonna go through like the same beats and motions as like the original story, but instead of having it like explained to us, we're just gonna follow Ayase's delusions, but it's gonna match up with what we have to do in order to destroy Noah too. So we're just gonna believe in the Gladiale story and then end up beating Genichi Narose because everything just happens to match up. And he's like, oh no! How did you know my plan? It's like, it was written in this book, foretold by prophets ages ago. And he's like, what the hell? Ase looked totally serious. In fact, she didn't seem to be joking at all. I didn't think I'd ever see her tell a joke. I looked at the book again, but it was all blank.
僕には白紙にしか見えないよ。
そう。
I see. She seemed slightly disappointed as she took the book from me. Our fingers touched just for a moment, and my heart skipped a beat. Her fingers were cold.
考えたことがある？
About what?
何が？
世界は人によって見える形が違うということ。その差異を確かめることはできないわ。概念や認識を他人と完璧に一致させることは不可能だから。でもこれだけははっきりしている。君が見ているものと私が見ているもの。その違いは邪神による影響よ。邪神の集合体が邪神をグラジオール。目覚めようとしている。もうすぐ。もしも目覚めたら、きっと。この世に67億ある世界は、邪神王が生む混沌によって混じり、溶け合うことになるわ。
Wait, they'll fuse and melt together? That's not good imagery.
境界が消え、邪神により連結された世界になるのよ。あらゆるものが規則性もなく生まれ、あらゆるものが一瞬で死ぬ。概念も認識も因果律もすべて破壊される。
Oh man, she is losing me now.
すべてあるがゆえに何もない世界。
I've actually been yawning, oh god.
あらゆる神話と同じように予言されているわ。
It has been prophesized.
終末予言。滅びの歌。
Was that really true? What was the meaning of that blank paperback book? Just what were the apocalyptic psalms of the Book of Gladiale?
このままでは滅びの結末に至るだけ。今、止められるのは私と君。二人しかいないの。
どうして僕ら二人なの？
Why? I don't want to do any of this. Please stop.
導きよ。他の黒騎士はすでに邪神王に侵食されてしまった。
The other Black Knights? Asa had been covered in blood just a moment ago. Blood that she said belonged to another Black Knight. Has she killed them besides, somewhere in the hospital? But then where were the bodies? Asa walked past me and put her hand on the door.
どこ行くの？
おしっこよ。
She answered emotionlessly and left without waiting for my answer.
Huh?
I looked around to see if there were any other books from the Gladiale series around, but there weren't. I didn't know how many volumes there were, but the ones I had picked up a moment ago was book 17 and books 1 through 16 were nowhere in the room. Obviously, it was possible that she just hadn't brought them with her. But after seeing the blank pages of the book, I found the idea hard to believe. I left the room before Asa came back. There were several computers in the lobby with internet access. I've been to this hospital a few times, so I knew about them. Visiting hours were evidently over and the lobby was empty. It was so crowded during the day, but now it was almost eerily quiet and kind of unnerving. I hurried over to the computers before one of the nurses could find me and kick me out. I'm pretty smart. From all my time in anime and manga and video games, I knew a lot about myths from around the world. But even I never heard of the apocalyptic psalm of the Book of Gladiale. I'd only found out about them when I'd been researching ISA. Man, that's like saying, excuse me, I'm a Fate fan, so I'm somewhat of a historian myself. I decided to search the internet for them. There was a pretty good sized number of hits. I was surprised at how many, and felt a little frustrated, like maybe it was just big and I hadn't known about it. But when I went down the list of hits, I saw that they all had one thing in common. They were all about Phantasm or Fez. The apocalyptic psalms were always introduced as something Fez talked about, or something the band had come up with. The name was there, but nothing else. I couldn't find anything in the actual context of the book. I really can't get used to this wiki pedophilia. There was a wiki entry, but only a few lines of basic information. A fictional novel based on an Eastern European legend of Gladiale, the Knight of the Wicked Hearts. A 23-volume high fantasy series that depicts the war between 7 Black Knights and Gladiale, written by R.C.O. Ziegler. Published between 1929 and 1951, and translated into several languages, but often commercially unsuccessful due to its complex writing style. That was all. The other mythology pages were all really fleshed out. This one felt way too empty. It was a little better than the wiki article I'd seen on D-Sword, but not by much. Since anybody could edit a wiki, it wasn't even clear what it said was true or not. The image on the D-Sword page had been totally wrong for one thing. The idea had been going around and around in my head for a while now. Maybe the apocalyptic psalms of the books of Gladiale were just a product of ISA's delusions. Was she trying to make her own mythos, like Lovecraft did? Lovecraft had, for lack of a better word, turned his delusions into stories, which he'd spread by publishing them. That's, technically not true. And then he created a whole bunch of things that now we just call Lovecraftian. So these are Ayase. What if Ayase was trying to do the same thing with her songs? Put it that way, it sounded like a really cool thing to do, but she was actually doing what she was actually doing was sharing her crazy nonsense with the rest of the world, and to make matters even worse, she thought it was real, not fiction. Was everything she told me a delusion? Maybe this whole end of the world thing was just some hidden desire of hers. A lot of otaku could be like, I am the key to that world's destruction, you know? Goofy stuff like that.
それは僕もだった。
She's just like me. What kind of ending did she want her myth to have? Was it safe for me to believe in her?
信じるも何も綾瀬しかいないじゃないか。
Rimi was gone. Senna was a little too scary, and Kosupi wasn't somebody you could count on to do anything. She's useless. So crazy or not, delusions or not, I had no choice but to rely on her. Also, she had a D-sword. Whatever else was false, that was true. And delusions or not, she prophesied the new-gen murders in her songs. Maybe it was possible that her delusions were having an effect on reality. If that was the case, though, then it would mean that she was incredibly powerful, and I'd be a fool not to use her. Fortunately, although I had no ideas why, she seemed to have taken a liking to me. As long as I didn't take anything she said too seriously, there was no problem. Yeah, no problem at all. Oh man, that conversation with Ayase kind of put me to sleep, bro. I went back to her hospital room and...
闇夜を切り裂き月光を浴びて幾千もの鉄鎚は汝の痛みとなりて今解き放たれるやがて叫びは宙に舞い夜空は赤く染まるだろう
Ayase was sitting on the bed, eating the meal the nurse had given her. No, was she eating? You know, that singing was pretty good, even though I, prefer having music and maybe have the lyrics make a little bit more sense. It looked like she was just sitting there, bored and humming while she poked her freeze-dried tofu with her chopsticks. The song she was singing was a Phantasm one, the one that was said to prophesize the third new-gen case, Crucified. All right. I don't even know what I'm so out of it right now. That previous conversation, like, put me asleep, and I wasn't even paying attention to the lyrics. A bloody contract for your sins. Oh, there we go. That's the name of the ending. I'd bought her album, so I knew. Right now, she wasn't pounding any steaks. She was pounding, stabbing, her freeze-dried tofu, though. When she saw me, she smiled slightly, like she was relieved.
戻ってこないかと思ったわ。どこへ行っていたの？
ちょっと調べ物をロビーの PC で。
今日はここに泊まって一緒にいて。
Wait, seriously? I was so shocked that I took a step back. Since when did she like me that much?
お腹空いていない？食べてもいいわよ。
She picked up the tofu with her chopsticks and offered it to me.
それって綾瀬が食べたくないだけじゃ。
No, baka.
そうよ。
Wow, I do like the fact that despite that fact that she's, well, for lack of better words, delusional, I don't think she's ever lied from her own point of view. She's always been extremely blunt and just said it how she thinks it is. She smiled just a little.
まずいの、病院食は。不浄な邪心に染まっているのね。きっと。
All the things aren't very good. They must be tainted by impure wicked. Was it just me, or was she badly overusing the phrase wicked hearts? Well, maybe it was just her favorite phrase or something.
邪心に染まってるのに僕は食べてもいいの？
普段から邪心まみれでしょ、匠は。コンビニのお弁当やカップ麺は不浄なる食べ物の最たる例よ。黒騎士として覚醒するためには摂取をやめるべきだわ。
綾瀬は普段は何を食べてるの？
チョコレート。
Is it me or did she just start blushing, or was that earlier?
チョコレートって十分邪心に染まってそうな気がするけど。
Wait, does this mean that she only ever ate chocolate? That's terrible. That's worse than me.
チョコレートはいいわ。邪神を打ち払う力を持つのよ。あの甘さは。
Yeah, bullshit. I might believe in a lot of weird stuff that was going on around me, but no way in hell was I gonna believe that.
というわけで、匠。さあ。
Did she continue to push the freeze-dried tofu into my direction? Did she really not want to eat it that badly? I mean, I wasn't a fan of freeze-dried tofu myself.
いらない。
それは許されないわ。
Unacceptable! Why? This isn't fair! Having a girl offer you food like this was supposed to be every man's dream. So why didn't it feel romantic at all? Because Ayase wanted me to eat the food she didn't want to eat? Or was it because Ayase was 3D? She didn't seem likely to give up on me having me eat the tofu, so I put it in my mouth. I bit into it, and the taste of broth it had been soaked in spread throughout my mouth.
よく頑張ったわ。
Oh, good boy, good boy.
これで一歩、黒騎士に近づいたわよ。匠。
Not a chance.
次は、このきんぴらごぼうを。
Eat all my broccoli, vegetables, the things I don't want to eat. Please make her stop. I guess that was pretty cute in its own way. After our meal, Asa had begun a long lecture on the apocalyptic psalms, seemingly oblivious to the fact that the sun had already set. She was so into it that she forgot to turn on the lights in the room after it got dark. What she said, unfortunately, was just a slightly more detailed version of what she told me before. Most of it I already knew. Asa's voice was always so flat. It made you feel real. Oh, okay, there we go. That's why I was falling asleep. It's all your fault, Asa. It made you feel really sleepy. With Shogun out there, it was dangerous to fall asleep, but still. Sorry? It just occurred to me, man. By going to sleep here, he's basically like the closest to Shogun that he's ever been. Other than when they're confronting each other, because Shogun's literally like 2 rooms down, man.
というわけなのよ。理解できた？
うん。
I hadn't been listening at all, but I nodded anyway. Asa's eyes narrowed, and she drew closer to me.
聞いてなかったのね。
Not at all. Whoa. Could Asa get mad sometimes too? She didn't look like she was the emotional type. If I made her mad, maybe I should apologize.
それも、邪神に染まっているせいよ。
Jashin. More crap about Wicked Heart.
先に取り除かなくてはならないようね。君の侵食した邪神を。でなければ、純粋なる邪神は培養されない。
He has to grow a pure Wicked Heart?
取り除く?
What was she going to do with me? I shivered, imagining some kind of surgery. But that didn't seem to be what she meant. For some reason, she licked her lips seductively. I got a quick glance at her pink tongue. It looked incredibly sexy.
君の邪神を取り除くためなら、何でもするわ。望みがあったら言って。
And anything? I didn't know what it meant to remove a wicked heart, but... how about this?
キスでもしてもらおうか。
That is technically sexual harassment, I believe. Even in the darkness, I could see her frown. Maybe I'd gone a little overboard. I thought maybe she'd start to hate me and abandon me, so I went to quickly apologize. But she's gonna say yes. But she grabbed me by the collar before I could. Then she dragged me into the closet.
何を?
Ase pressed her body up against mine. She closed the closet door, squeezing both of us together inside. Is someone coming to the room, or is she like just doing this to try to, seduce, talk me more? It was tiny. There wasn't room for 2 people inside. I was up tight against her body with nowhere to move. I could hear her quiet breathing in my ear too. The darkness made me feel terribly excited.
どうしたの?
I'm gonna assume that someone's gonna come in because there's no reason to go into the closet.
看護師の見回りよ。
Yeah. Oh, it's Hazuki. Oh, so that's why we were hiding. Visitors weren't allowed at this time of night, and certainly not allowed to sleep here. If I was found, I'd be kicked out. Then why is she hiding there? I feel like if a hospital patient were not in their room, I would look around in the room. But how is that supposed to work if Ayase hid with me? Yeah!
この病院にも敵は多いわ。
敵
Well, she's right about that too.
グラジオールの使い、私たちの心を支配しようと、虎視眈々と狙っているのよ。
Was she saying the nurse was an enemy?
それってただの被害妄想。
Shh.
静かに。
Shh, just be quiet, Takumi. Ayase suddenly put her lips over mine. Well, you got your wish. You got the kiss. I could feel the softness of her lips. The shock made my mind go completely blank. And just then, the door opened. I heard a strange sound too. Somebody came in, making no noise as they walked. Yep, that's Hazuki. I heard a woman's voice. It was one I heard somewhere before, but I couldn't remember where.
逃げられたのかしら。まさか私たちの正体に気づかれた？ええ、不用意に接触しすぎたのかもしれない。
She seemed to be talking to somebody, but I couldn't hear who. Was she talking to a phone then? Ayase's lips were still pressed against mine. I smelled something sweet. Ayase smelled good. So good. And it wasn't just her lips. Her chest, her shoulders, her hips, her thighs, her hair. They're all so soft. There might be someone dangerous just beyond the closet door, but my mind was going totally blank as I gave myself over to the pleasure. You know, this unironically might be for the best, because if he wasn't in this situation, I bet he would squeal. He would give himself away.
そっちの処理は済んだ？そう、これからなのね。わかったわ。
Wait.
私はスクランブル交差点に向かうから。
Oh. Oh shit. Wait, I need to remember this. So, when Takumi visited Ayase, was that the same day that the third melt happened? I keep saying second melt because it's Noah 2, but if that's the case, she's talking to Suo, who probably just killed Bon. I kind of didn't make the connection that this was all on the same day. I don't think it was supposed to be the same day though, but it's just been so long that I don't really clearly remember.
それじゃあね。守る。あなたに信仰の救いあれ。
The conversation seemed to have ended. A moment later, the suspicious woman wordlessly left the hospital to a room. There was no sign of anybody outside the room. It should be safe to go home now. But Ayase still wouldn't let me go. She moved her lips away for just a moment, and she looked at me with dewy eyes.
匠、私は導きで、君が救世主。そう決まっているの。だから、何をしてもいいのよ。私に。
No, okay.
叶えてあげるわ。君の、どんな望みでも。
I didn't understand what she was saying. I thought it might be another one of my delusions, but I didn't really mind.
匠。匠。
Ayase kissed me again. This time, she brought her wet tongue between my teeth and into my mouth. It wrapped itself around my own. I stopped caring about everything. I wrapped my hands around Ayase's lithe, slender body, and gave myself over to the pleasure. It hurt to breathe a little. I sucked up her hot breath. Okay, they're making a lot of noise. Her saliva came pouring into my mouth. It was very sweet. I gulped it down loudly. My brain felt paralyzed, like it was going numb. The pleasure of the 3D worlds were beyond what I could handle. There's the gunshot. Oh god, okay. It really didn't occur to me that that happened the same day. The thing is, like, I'm pretty sure the murder of Bon did not happen the same night as the third melt, though. Because, I mean, I assume this was a third melt because Hazuki said that she was going to go to Scramble Crossing, right? And, no, my memory is just really foggy on the details. Wait. No, it was the same day. The order of events was so they went to the hospital, they saw Ayase, and then afterwards, in the original route, Takumi went home with Rimi, asked her to go home with him, fought with Senna and Kozupi. Afterwards, the sun didn't go down yet. They went to Takumi's home, did the thing where, he was like, no, you're just delusion, etc. Takumi went home while Rimi went to the Noah 2 area. And then after a few hours, when it was dark outside, Takumi went to the Scramble Crossing. And yeah, that was all within the same day. Holy crap, I didn't realize how busy that day was. I heard a sound in the distance. Ayase gasped and moved herself away from me.
今の音は
A gun! First neutral special. Her lips were wet with a mix of our saliva. Even in the darkness, I could see that much. Forget the sound. Let's go back to kissing and hopefully more. Yahoo! My virgin days are finally over. Kira, I think it said. Wait a second. Had Ayase done something like this with other guys? Wouldn't it be disgusting if she wasn't a virgin? Or did I only think that because of too many H games had rotted my brain? No, she had to be a virgin. Nobody would possibly want to date somebody this crazy. Hell, even Misumi had practically run away screaming.
ヘラヘラしていないで、匠。
さあせん。
That's it. Suddenly, she slapped me. The giddiness I was feeling faded instantly. I started to get a little nervous. I thought I was about to cry, actually. Ase was looking at me sternly. I grabbed onto her.
ごめん。嫌わないで。
Honestly, that was probably for the best, because if he's distracted by lewd stuff, then he'd probably get shot, because there's someone with a gun here.
邪神に支配されるのではなく、邪神を己に取り込むのよ。でなければ、黒騎士として目覚めることはできない。
She's making it sound like I only want you for your sword.
それを忘れないで。
I still wasn't clear on what a wicked heart was, but the reason I was so giddy was that Ayase had kissed me. At least, as I saw it, I didn't think it was a good idea to point that out, though.
行くわよ。
どこへ？
銃声だったわ。さっきの音。
A gunshot? A gunshot here in Japan? Sure, it had some kind of sound like one, but I'd only ever heard gunshots in games and movies. It didn't feel real.
銃声だったとして何をしに行くの？
これもまた予言にあったわ。すでに邪神王との戦いは始まっているのよ。
The King
黒
of
騎士
Wicked
の
Hearts
心
is
も殺
beginning.
されていく。だから回収するの。理想道。私たちにできるのはそれだけ。
The Black Knights were being killed? Did that gunshot mean that somebody had been shot?
警察に。
ダメよ。警察も邪神に支配されてしまっている。
She's right about that too, actually. Crazy? No, crazy didn't even begin to cover it. Ayase was way beyond just crazy. The apocalyptic psalms were her delusions. Everything she was saying was part of her delusion. What kind of ending did she want her story to have? What was I supposed to do?
ついてきて、匠。
Ayase left the room alone. I hesitated to follow her. Suddenly I realized. The 3D swords near the window sill had vanished. I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just a reuse of assets that that they didn't want to change. Ayase must have taken them. I bit my lip, and after another moment's hesitation, I followed her. So if they go to the roof, they're gonna see Suwa. But there's also that thing with Yua. This is where was this where Yua was, or was this where Bon was? Because they're in two different locations. Ayase headed straight towards the roof, almost as if she knew exactly where the gunshot had come from. The roof of the hospital was a small garden. There were planters with blooming flowers, but it was too dark to see what the colors they were. I hid behind Ayase and looked around. I couldn't see anyone here. No one was moving. Nothing was moving. Had this really been where the gunshot had come from? And if so, who was the shooter? Normal Japanese people don't have guns.
やっぱり戻ろうよ。もし撃たれたらまずいよ。
Ayase wasn't listening to me. She walked deeper into the garden. I had no choice but to follow. Oh, there was a blue flash. I could see a blurry blue light in front of us. It was pale, as if it was about to disappear, but it was shining and flashing.
ディソードだわ。
Oh, we're in the same place as Yua then. This is where she activated her D-Sword. At least if things still continued the way they did. Which it probably did, since there was a gunshot here and Bon was here and Bon was with Yua, so it was probably going to be Yua. I don't remember Yua's D-Sword design, to be honest. We only seen it in that one scene, and it kind of passed by really quickly. But I do recognize everyone else's D-Sword, and this is one I don't recognize, so this is probably Yua's. But in that case, where is Yua? It was elegant, and at the same time, it had a sharpness to it that seemed to reject the entire world around it. It felt bizarre, like it wasn't of this world. Next to the D-Sword, stabbed into the concrete, I could see two people lying on the ground. I recognized them both.
Yua!
The girl dressed in the Suimei uniform, lying face up, was definitely Yua. What was she doing here? The other was a middle-aged man. I remembered him. He was the one who questioned me after the crucified case. Both of them weren't moving. Oh, crap. Was Yua killed in this one? I approached them tremblingly. There was a pool of blood forming under both of them. I quickly leapt back, but it was too late. Sticky crimson liquid had soaked into the bottom of my shoes. The detective's body was particularly bloody. I couldn't see any injuries on Yua's body, though. What had happened here? What were the two of them doing together? I could understand why a detective would have a gun, but who had shot this guy? Was it Yua? So many doubts were filling my head that I had trouble processing what I was seeing. Completely bewildered, I turned to Ayase for help. Ayase walked towards Yua, a frown on her face. She paid no attention at all to the detective. She knelt next to Yua, being careful not to step on the blood, and put a finger up against her neck.
脈はある。
Oh, okay.
まだ生きているわ。
I thought she was gonna be like, she's dead.
だけど、死んでいる。
Oh, her mind is dead. It must be that one dude, that otaku dude, who like really fucked her up.
そっちの男の人は、もうダメなようね。
Her voice is calm as always.
なんで、そんな落ち着いていられるんだ。人が死んでるんだぞ。
言ったでしょ。予言されていたからよ。
What do you mean prophesized?
綾瀬が望んだ妄想じゃないの。
そうかもしれないわね。それを確かめる術はないけれど。
Wow, I thought she'd be like, no, it's right there in the book of Gladiale. But no, she's like, there are multiple ways to interpret this event, and my way is through this story. So that's, you know, she's like, in that case, she's actually technically not wrong.
そんな。
構わないわ。原因が何だろうと。
Ayase stood up. Red got her D-Sword and pulled her own D-Sword out of the empty air. She brought the shining red blade near the D-Sword and stuck into the ground. There was an awful resonating noise at a piercing high frequency, like somebody was stabbing a pick into my ear and jerking it around. Why'd you have to say it like that, man? And then the two D-Swords blended together. The way they melted together ignored all laws of physics. It was like a liquid, but also like clay. They kept changing shapes violently, like they were thrashing in pain. The resonating noise got louder. I put my hands over my ears, but it did nothing. Together, they formed the Ultra, the Ultra D-Sword. Or the Ultra Great Sword, or the Great Sword, Ultra Great Sword that my friend likes to use in Dark Souls. The air exploded. The next thing I knew, the D-Sword had moved from the ground into Ayase's left hand. Oh, she's dual-wielding now. Ayase didn't look so good. For once, her expression looked like she was in pain. But then she smiled at me. Her cheeks were a little flushed, like something had excited her.
4本目よ。これで。
There was a dead body right in front of us. The person who shot the detective might be lurking up here. Why was the sword more important than any of that? Because it was needed for the ending that Ayase wanted? Defeating Gladiale with the 7 D-Swords? Was Gladiale even real?
ギガロマニアックスとなったものは誰だろうと一度は壊れているんだよ。
You're realizing this now, Takumi? I remember what Senna said. Ayase was as broken as the rest of them. Did that mean I was going to end up the same way someday? No, not someday. I'd already broken a long time ago. Ase made the D-sword vanish. They disappeared, melting into the air.
このこと、警察に通報するの
Yule was my enemy. Leaving her here with this dead guy wouldn't make me feel guilty in the slightest. But I'd stepped in the blood. I looked down and saw that my footprints were clearly visible on the concrete. The police might easily think I was a killer.
通報はしないわ。
That was a relief, at least. Ase looked up at the night sky. Her expression was still stern.
そろそろね。
Time for what?
グラジオールは間もなく目覚めるわ。
Earthquake
シ
time!
ーグラーの予言によれば、心して、匠。最悪に包まれるのよ、世界は。君は、見たこともない世界を見ることになる。でも、乗り越えて。そうしなければ、グラジオールを倒せない。
Her voice was shaking. Ase, the girl who wasn't afraid of anything, was scared. Was something that terrible about to happen? Or was she envisioning it in her mind and trying to make it real?
まだ心の準備が。
だったら急いで。もう時間がないわ。
How long do we have? We have 5. 5 what? 4. 3. Aw, shit. Come on, don't say that. How am I supposed to get ready when I don't even know what's going to happen?
世界は誘拐し、連結が始まる。
She whispered to no one in particular, looking up at the sky. I looked up too. Oh, there we go, and saw that a point in the sky had turned white. It was a brilliant white, out of place in the darkness of the night. What was that? Then I remembered. Hadn't the sky turned white like this during that last earthquake? It's expanding. The white began to spread. I couldn't tell what, but something about it made me feel very afraid. I gulped.
グラジオールが目覚めた。
Rumbling, the building was shaking. No, it wasn't just the building, everything was shaking. The white in the sky was spreading further and further. The next thing that hit me was a terrible ring in my ears, like the resonating sound from the D-sword a moment ago. It felt like my head was about to explode from within. And then... Expand! Domain expansion! Whoosh! The whole world went white. Oh boy. Oh man. How long is this ending?